Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast. If you're struggling in your life with self-sabotaging and negative thoughts that leave you feeling stuck and limit you from moving forward, I can help you. As a holistic health and empowerment coach, I help people identify, challenge, and conquer those thoughts in order to make simple and practical changes to improve overall wellness. Let's remove those limitations, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. I am Alethea Felton, your host and your holistic wellness coach, and I am so happy to have you with me today. Thank you for joining us this day. And if you are new to our community, welcome. And we always begin with a powerful, positive affirmation. So I will say it once and then you repeat it. I choose to leave the past in the past. Yes. That is what we are doing today. And today's episode, y'all, I really didn't struggle much with this one. I was wondering what to bring you today. Thinking about it, I have a list of ongoing topics, but you know what? This one wasn't one of the topics that I had listed. But yet I know in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to talk about. It's something that I've had to learn how to do, that I've had to learn how to overcome. It didn't happen overnight, but I just really know in my heart that somebody needs to hear this. And this is all about y'all, how to let go of the past. How to let go of the past. Before we dive into that, especially if you're new to this platform, I am a certified holistic wellness and life coach. And what that means, what my niche is, what my area is, as a wellness coach, I look at the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, just to name a few. Now, I am not a therapist or a counselor, but I do have specialized training in understanding aspects of the entire person through my coaching training and through my wellness training, okay? And so therefore, as a holistic wellness coach and also as a life coach, I have dual certifications. One thing that I specialize in is really helping people get to their next best thing in life, whatever that goal is, whatever they wish to accomplish. And the way that I go about doing it is looking at you as an entire being. Who are you as a person? What areas of your life may need some fine tuning? And what are some roadblocks you have that are halting you to accomplish your next goal? So that is where I come into play. And with this podcast, with the Power Transformation Podcast, I am intentional about having people to be a part of this community based on just not things that I've experienced and overcome in my life, but also the guests I have who have overcome some obstacles, everyday people, just like you and me. But one thing that can hinder progress in our life is the past, specifically things in the past that we just not gotten over. And that is why this episode is so important. In order to get you to your next best thing in your life, this is a start. And your next best thing doesn't have to be something earth-shattering or world-changing even, but it could be something as simple. Maybe you want to start to get up every day and go for a walk. Or it could be maybe you need to scale back how much you are doing at work. You never know what kind of things could be hindering you from getting to where you're supposed to be. And yes, I've had past episodes about, work-life balance and things of that nature, but specifically letting go of the past, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, I'm going to give you a few steps and a few tips of letting go of the past, not just based on what I've done for myself through therapy, my own work, but also through some research and through practices that I know as a wellness coach. And one of the first things that you must do, and if you want to jot down notes, it's okay. Well, let me kind of backtrack. I'm not trying to be all over the place, but I think for you to really understand this, let me give you a greater idea about me in something. Um, Letting go of the past used to be hard for me. It really did. I can't pinpoint an exact event. There were different events that I wanted to hold on to, or I would play over and over in my mind as to how things could have gone differently. What could I have done differently? And this fell in multiple areas. It fell in the area of relationships. It fell in the area of certain work things. It fell into the area even with my upbringing, about choices that I made for my life. And while I've had overall a very good life, I did used to have a hard time of accepting the present and being more embracing and hopeful of my future because I replayed things in the past and I overthought about what could have gone differently. And what I had to come to learn is that the past is just that, y'all. It's the past. We can't do anything to change the past, but we can make a conscious choice to release those feelings about the past and move forward to a brighter and better future. So, the first step that I would encourage you to do to help you to let go of the past is acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge how you feel. You've got to be able to recognize and accept your emotions about the past. You can think about or accept the fact maybe you're disappointed about something, or you might be angry about something in the past, or you can feel sad about something in the past that didn't work out the way that you wanted to do. But before you can let go, you have to acknowledge it. You have to accept the fact that it happened. Too often, people live in denial and they brush things or brush problems under a rug as if they never existed. That's not reality. Because it's hard as a human. Like, feeling sad isn't a good feeling. Feeling angry is not necessarily a great feeling. And in order to move on to your next best thing, acknowledge that it happened. And one of the ways you can do this is through practicing mindfulness. And my episode last week with Angela Norwood was all about mindfulness techniques for stress and anxiety. Thinking and worrying about your past can really put you there. It can make you stressed out. And when you are mindful, when you are grounded in the present moment, when you breathe, that can help ease and calm your mind from replaying things in the past that didn't go well. It can stop those repetitive thoughts. But you got to acknowledge it first. And then step 2, once you acknowledge it, you got to really give yourself compassion, self-compassion. It can be easy to be compassionate for everybody else, but sometimes we are so hard on us and we are our own worst critic. I'm always emphasizing it, and some people might think that I view the world with rose-colored glasses. I certainly do not. I mean, I know the reality of what's in this world, but I also do believe in kindness and love and understanding. And I challenge you, I want you to do that for yourself. Be kind to you, be compassionate to you. Avoid dwelling in the mistakes or the choices of your past. Avoid being embarrassed or filled with shame about certain challenges that you went through in your life. We are all living this human experience. And with us being spiritual beings living a physical existence, okay, that's another episode in and of itself. But stick with me here. Because of the fact we have this divine nature in ourselves that we are also created with, that our creator made us with as well, we sometimes can go back and forth on wanting to be so perfect on earth that we aren't kind to ourselves about our pasts, especially the things that didn't go so well. Or maybe your past was even better than where it is now, or so you think. And you want to go back to those glory days of how things once were. Well, it's not going to be that way because what's done is done. But you must be compassionate and kind enough with yourself to just know that life isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. And therefore, what I may still want from the past is not going to always be there. And you've got to accept that. And then you can transition to the next step. And that next step is learning to forgive yourself and others. Suppose there's something in your past that still bothers you. The person might be long dead, might be long gone from your life. It could be a situation that left you in scandal, a situation that's just very uncomfortable for you. It could have been something that you caused. Whatever it is, you've got to forgive yourself and let go. And you have to forgive the others involved in whatever that situation was. And what I'd also like to challenge you with is going back whenever you can and listen to episode 34. Episode 34 was entitled Learning to Forgive Yourself. If you have trouble forgiving yourself, if you have trouble being compassionate and kind to you about things that happened or choices you made, listen to that episode, because forgiving yourself as well as others is a key part in letting go of your past. Because when you hold on to grudges, when you hold on to resentment, when you beat yourself up, it only keeps pain. Pain also manifests into the physical. There is a direct correlation between trauma / emotional pain and physical dis-ease or disease. And you may be the healthiest person there is. You may work out, you may lift, you might eat healthy, but if you have underlying trauma, it's going to show up or pop up or appear in some other area of your life. And that is when I, as a wellness coach, comes in looking at the whole person, as a holistic wellness coach, looking at the whole person. And this is what I had to do. I was, oh my goodness, pre-pandemic, I would say 5+ years ago. If anybody knew me, I lifted heavy, y'all. In fact, if the pandemic hadn't come in 2020, my trainer and I were actually going to prep me for competition. Now, I don't lift like I used to. I'm going to get back into it, but I used to lift all of the time, but I had so much emotional baggage going on, especially pre-2017. So even a couple of years prior to the pandemic, I had a lot of other stuff that was unresolved in me. And I was, you know, slimmer, trimmer, tone, chisel, all of that, whatever you want to call it. But I still had brokenness. And a lot of that was because I hadn't forgiven myself nor others who had hurt me in my past. And I had to learn how to do that. And another way that you can do that too, and that's very helpful, is to release the attachments. So if you have physical or emotional attachments, this all still goes with forgiving yourself, but you have to also learn how to release the attachments. So if you have, say, for example, if you have an ex-wife, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., right? If that relationship, especially if it just, look, it's an ex for a reason, one of the most challenging things, in order to really forgive and move on, you even got to let go of any type of physical attachment. So any gift that person gave you, pictures of y'all together, anything that you see that might be of sentimental value that makes you think of that person, you got to let it go. You have to release that, because those things also carry energy. They do. And don't let that word scare you. Energy is real and true. God created energy as well. So for any people who say, oh my goodness, she's using all those new age words. This isn't new age. This is a reality. Energy is a scientific thing. And I am a woman of faith. And I know God also created it. And everything has energy. Everything has energy. Everything has vibrations. And if you don't let go of certain attachments, you're going to stay connected to that energy field, which will be hard for you to move on from. So you, for example, may want a new relationship, but what do you have in your home or in your environment? What songs are you listening to that bring up memories of the past? That's one example. But even when you are forgiving yourself, you got to think about, okay, are you still frequenting places that were not healthy for you in your past? If you said you were going to stop drinking, are you still being attached to the people that caused you to drink? Are you still being attached to the bars or the clubs you went to? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having alcohol in moderation, but if you knew drinking is a problem for you and you became a full-fledged alcoholic, even if it's functional, then you know that's a problem. So forgive yourself and others and release those attachments. Also, in order to let go of the past, at this point, this is where you want to seek support. Share your feelings and your thoughts with trusted friends, family, or I even recommend, yes, a life coach. But also, if there are some issues that are a bit deeper, go to a licensed therapist, a professional. Even within my realm as a holistic wellness coach, life coach, if there are people who have some further deep-rooted issues that are a little bit too much to handle, any good life coach will also send you to a certified a licensed therapist, a licensed professional, because there are some issues that are too deeply rooted that there are other factors involved where a licensed professional needs to come into place. A coach is one thing. A coach helps you set goals. A coach helps you get to that finish line. But a therapist digs really deeply into the trauma and the pain. And so you may want to seek support. And if you go to a trusted family member or friend, the key word there, y'all, is trusted. Go to somebody that you can trust, somebody that's not going to tell your business, somebody that's not going to make you feel badly for having your thoughts. You want to have somebody you trust. And when you have that, when you seek the support, this goes hand in hand too. This is still step 3. You want to seek support. And Engage in the present. And engaging in the present means that you want to do activities that bring you joy, fulfillment, happiness, healthy activities that do that. Healthy. Everything is based on you transforming from within. And with that, you want to feed yourself with positive life-giving sources. Perhaps you've always wanted to join, say, some type of sports league. I have a good friend. He plays a sports that's called bocce ball. I hadn't heard of it until I met him, but he plays bocce ball. It's a good community of people and somebody that he can play with, have a great time. We often joke about it, and this is just a joke, y'all, but we often joke about it because it's not a sport a lot of Black people play. So we're always joking like he's the only Black guy out there on the field playing it, but he doesn't care because he's having a ball. So what I'm saying is you want to engage in activities that are going to make you be in the present moment, and it can help to shift your mind from thinking about the past. Pick up a hobby. If you like bowling and you haven't gone in a while, go bowling. If you want to join a runner's club, join a runner's club. Y'all see how my brain works. I'm always thinking about fitness stuff, but it can be anything. If you like to cook, take a little cooking class. If you like to paint, do that. If you like to play Dungeons and Dragons, join a club that does that. If you like gaming, my point is find something that you can do and participate in that can get you from thinking about the past. The next step, and we're almost finished here, but the next step in letting go of the past is by changing your perspective in order to learn and grow. So this takes some mind shifting, because what you want to do here is you want to challenge your thought processes, challenge those patterns, challenge those thoughts, and shift them. So the second that something negative comes in your brain, or you trying to go back to the hurt of the past, you have to say, nope, not today. Say it in the way that you would. But I would say, Lily, girl, not today, boo-boo, you ain't going there. You best pick up your thoughts and you're going to shift them because your past is your past. Okay? Okay. That's what I would do. Cardi B, that's what she says. But my whole point is that's how I would talk to myself. And you have to change your mindset. You have to talk to yourself in the way that you would. And when you shift those thoughts, this, y'all, is where the power transformation comes into play, baby. When you can shift those thoughts. Because again, innately, 80 to 85% of the human brain's thoughts are innately negative. So it takes more energy to shift them to the positive. So when we start to go back into the past and dwelling on what went wrong and what went bad, you got to pump those brakes. You got to shift, and then you learn and grow. You got to think about, how in the world did I grow from that? I'm not where I was. I am grateful for the lesson that I learned. There is still far more in front of me that is better than that which I lost, or the pain or the challenges I had. That's what you've got to do. And I say it with such compassion because so many people are in metaphorical chains and in bondage because they are stuck in the past. I have been there in my past, and I shall not return to that. And I want you to walk in freedom from it as well. It does not happen quickly necessarily, and it does not happen overnight, but it is doable and it is achievable if you have the mindset that you want to. Sometimes people can be stuck in the glory days of high school. The glory days of being prom king and prom queen or homecoming court this or star athlete. And maybe you busted your knee and you didn't go pro like you thought. Or maybe you had this cute little body in high school or in college, and then something happened, life happened, and you gained weight and you don't know how to go back. You got to meet yourself where you are. Even if you remove the pounds, even if you got knee replacement surgery, you still would not be who you once were. And you cannot go back and stay stuck and dwell in the glory days of the past. It doesn't mean you don't acknowledge that those were some good times. But the problem happens whenever humans wallow in what was and can't see the forest from the trees, meaning they can't see the beauty and the here and the now and what's ahead of them. That's what has to be done. Change your perspective and learn and grow. And then the last thing in order to let go of the past, write and create a new vision. Write and create a new vision. What do I mean by that? When you set goals, when you literally write down goals, or you have a book or a journal or a scrapbook and you write down the goals or you draw pictures of what you want, and you constantly look at those, it's somewhere in close proximity that you can see, reflect on. It helps you to look forward to something, to work towards something, and it causes you to be intentional about moving forward. I do what's called a vision book. It's not necessarily a vision board, but it's a vision book. And I have it literally in scrapbook form. The cover page has words, pictures. It's like a word web, word map, or whatever. And it branches out. And I have a central goal in the middle, and then a lot of other things branch out. But inside of the book, I have it categorized where I have goals for the family goals I have, or entrepreneurial goals, or health goals, or spiritual goals, or wealth goals, whatever, travel goals, right? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put a pin there, but I'm gonna have to come back, y'all, and do an episode even about that again. I did one earlier, but what I'm trying to say is when you do these types of vision casting and you're consistent with it, they actually happen. And then it just doesn't stop there. Your goals are constantly tweaked and refined. So if you're new to it, I would challenge you to write down start with 3 short-term goals that you want to accomplish. Realistic short-term goals that say you want to accomplish in the next 90 days. So that gives you 3 months. 3 is the minimum. It can be as many as you want. But I want you to get used to it, especially if you've never done it. Write down 3 goals that you want to do within the next 3 months. If you look at those goals every day and you say them aloud every day, and you take steps toward accomplishing those goals, watch how your life will change in just 90 days, maybe even less than that. And what I'm saying is to let go of the past, you have to create a vision for what you want for your future. And you just can't sit on the sidelines. You must be an active participant in it. So yeah, create that positive vision. Y'all, letting go of the past takes time. It takes effort. It is not easy. I am speaking from a place and a space where I'm qualified to at this point. And it doesn't mean that I still won't have challenges because I'm still a human being. It doesn't mean that there are times when I don't think about the past. I do think you have to reflect on it, but I'm talking about when it just keeps you stuck and you have these feelings that just aren't good feelings about it. That's when you know you got to let go. If you glance back here and there and say, wow, look at how far I've come, then that's progress and that's where you want to get to. But be patient with yourself. Please be patient with yourself. And if it, again, I want to emphasize this one more time, if it is absolutely too challenging for you to let go of the past on your own, I implore you to please get professional help. And there are some therapists who will see people free of charge. Google is at your fingertips. So if you don't have insurance or if you're afraid therapy is going to cost too much, look for those resources. But if you have the monetary means, make the investment in therapy, make the sacrifice for it in order to get to where you have to be. And just like with any professional, if that therapist isn't the right fit, find someone else, but don't switch people after 1 or 2 visits. It's going to take some time to know if you're making progress with that given therapist. And the first session, if you've never gone, can be very uncomfortable, but it's worth it. So yeah, let's let go of the past. Let go of the past. And I encourage you to share this episode with somebody you know. I'm not begging. I don't ever want to come off like that. But when I tell you, this podcast also at this point is not what's called monetized, meaning at this point, my podcast, I'm not making money off of my podcast. That was never the intention or the goal. Yes, my hope is that one day I can. But when I ask you to share it, it's not because I'm trying to see what I can get financially. Money and stuff will come from multiple streams of income. That's the life of an entrepreneur. But when I ask you to share, it's because I want more people to get wind of this power transformation that we are experiencing here through this platform, through our guests. So that's why I say share it, because too many people need it. And let's make this global. Let's have it spread throughout lands. I am a Spanish speaker. I don't do it in Spanish or anything yet, but who knows? Perhaps I might start to do my podcast in the future in Spanish. But if you know English speakers in different countries around the world, send this to them. Because the human experience, we still have so many more commonalities than we do differences in a lot of ways. If only we would see that. But anyway, that's a whole other episode as well. So, how to let go of the past? Follow those tips that I've given you. Play it again if you have to. Let's end with our affirmation. I will say it once and you repeat it. I choose to leave the past in the past. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.